Probably. Is the fix in from the globe? Yeah, okay, but we don't resign. This movement isn't a resignationist movement. We don't resign from the things that have become corrupted. We fix them. We go in, we roll our sleeves up, we put our hands in the mud, and we mine out what we need to mine out in order to move forward. So slavery, for example. Oh, well, you're not slaves. You know, all that happened in this country was that we went from being slaves in chains to wage slaves, and the scope of slavery expanded from being blacks, predominantly blacks, to all the working class. Very simple maneuver. Oh, no more chains. Oh, there's a movement. There's a political movement coming that has convinced or manufactured a consent that the chain, the brutality of slavery is no longer acceptable. Fine, we'll take the chains away. That's not a problem, as long as the result is still the same, and the result is still the same, right? And you are a wage slave. If you work at the post office, you're a wage slave. If you are, if you're a teacher, in some respects, the teachers' unions are corrupt too, but you're a wage slave. A police officer, you're a wage slave. The working class have become wage slaves under a globalist initiative, which really was put in place post-World War II. You go back, you look at the Bretton Woods Conference. The Bretton Woods Conference gave birth to what would become the World Bank and the IMF. Many people don't even know about the Bretton Woods Conference. I'm just giving you things to go look at. So the slave trade has changed. That's one narrative that has been slightly amended to achieve the same result, but confused the average American citizen. How about the drug trade as the next example? And yeah, I mean, the drug trade is the same as it's always been, other than, the new form of the drug trade is the manufactured digital online user experience intended to mainline dopamine. Okay. Formerly known as the internet, now referred to as the Internet of Things, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Great Reset, so on and so forth. But we can trace it. It's the same model. Let's go all the way back to the Opium Wars, right? The Opium War that we fought against China, that we're still fighting against China. And actually, they're paying us back for it right now. Have all the fentanyl you want, America. And your globalist sellout uniparty elites in D.C. and on Wall Street, they're more than willing to open your borders to as much fentanyl as you can possibly take. That's warfare that's a warfare by asymmetrical means, right? Because the death of a culture, the destruction of a culture, is better than the destruction of armies, and one usually precludes the other. So we got the slave trade has been shifted. We got the drug trade that's been shifted, and the final one is piracy. This is the business. My piracy is the same as it's always been. Before it was nautical conquest. We show up on your shores. We kill as many people as we need to. We take your natural resources. Now we wage wars through an international collaborative in pursuit of democracy, social justice, and environmentalism. Globalism. That's globalism. Got nothing to do with Jews. Got nothing to do with anti-Semitism. It's a very structured business model that has people from all nationalities, colors, and creeds from here to Beijing. And we're going to talk more about that after this break. I want to stay on this theme of globalism versus nationalism because I think it's the most important thing we face as Americans. Stay tuned.
People ask me all the time, what is your best nootropic? You've got Turbo Force, you've got Brain Force Plus, and you've got Brain Force Ultra. Which one is better? And that's like asking, what's better, a Ford F-150 or a Cadillac or a Ferrari? It's different strokes for different folks. It varies. All three are different formulas. All three do different things. Turbo Force is 10 hours of clean, out-of-control energy. I can't even take a whole pack myself. Brain Force Plus is a long-term acting clean nootropic. This Brain Force Ultra is a super fast-acting nootropic that creates incredible clarity, but doesn't last very long. They're all 3 different formulas. And finally, back in stock, massively discounted, Brain Force Ultra is available at InfoWarsStore.com. Brain Force Ultra, back in stock, InfoWarsStore.com. I don't care if you work in a cafeteria or pump gas, or whether you're a farmer, a rancher, a doctor, a lawyer, or a millionaire. Fortune and Money Magazine have all done these profiles. You see it every year. 30 different tax returns, 30 different answers. 50 different tax returns, 50 different answers. And almost all of them just screw you over, especially the big firms and the big tax groups, because they're part of the system and they don't want the general public understanding this and knowing this. So it's a very important situation with inflation and all the things out there hurting everybody, to be able to do things tax-wise that's legal and lawful that allows you to keep more of your money. We wouldn't even be here if I hadn't gotten great tax advice in the last few years. The only way you fail is not writing down the URL, jonestaxrelief.com, one word, jonestaxrelief.com, or call 833-900-4285, 833-900-4285. Everybody knows that high-quality fish oil does fantastic things for your cardiovascular system, for your brain, for every part of your body. But what I don't see being promoted is the fact that it has natural psychotropic effects. It certainly does for me. When I take a couple of these capsules an hour before bed, my sleep, my dreams are amazing. Now, there are actually some studies out there linking it to amazing events in the brain, but I want you to experience it for yourself. We know it's good for your heart. We know it's good for your brain. We know it's good for your arteries and veins and your lungs and every other function in your body. But I want you to experience this high-grade fish oil, this ultimate fish oil at InfoWarsStore.com, and see what it does if you take it before bedtime. Ultimate fish oil, 50% off, now exclusively available at InfoWarsStore.com. Thank you all for your support. You're really going to miss out if you don't get it.
We are now living in the void, sliding towards collapse in the strange space between what we've known and what's to come. And right now, the most important thing to remember is don't panic. Stay calm, because now is the time that we must get our bearings and steer the ship onto a safe, sound course. There is nothing stopping we the people from making our own rules and building our own society. All we got to do is survive the crash. And right now, we still have time to prepare. The world fiat currency